slightly angry, a little bit crazy. And while I wait for you to join, this is why you have to come to Glasgow. See if she's there. Not picking up.
This is the vote.
So, the police contact me again today. She finally answered. She won't answer the phone. Perhaps she's a little bit worried that I will broadcast it to the nation, which, quite frankly, I would. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. I went to see a teacher this morning, female teacher, and honestly, I might as well have said, why don't we just all ignore the safeguarding concerns? Because what she said when I talked about whether or not the school would adopt the line trans women are women, and I said, look, if you taught a lesson about apartheid and somebody was racist, then a teacher would step in with an opinion. And then I said, what about if somebody said, well, men can be women or women have penises? And she sort of said, oh, somebody wouldn't talk like that. But not that a teacher would intervene and speak the truth. So I'm just pig sick of it. Each and every one of us women. So men, look, you don't get off, but this is specifically about women because I'm so royally peed off that so many women are such lightweights on this issue. It's really irritating. So this teacher said today, when I talked about safeguarding, when I talked about the fact that normalizing pedophiles by calling them MAPs, minor attracted persons, is leading to teenagers having conversations where they say to their friend, what do you think about minor attracted persons? They're grotesque, aren't they? Oh, no, they're not grotesque. They're normal as long as they don't act on it. It is an absolutely amazing thing that pedophiles have done. They've successfully rebranded to the point that these kids sucked into wherever they're going online, which is generally speaking LGBT. I don't care how that comes across, but these sort of LGBT clubs at school and the mixing of ages and all the safeguarding that being completely ignored, it is leading to children not being able to understand what their boundaries are. It is leading children to believe that if they say something is grotesque, revolting, deserves to kill, just kill it dead. I don't mean it as in the whatever it is, kill pedophilia dead, right? That's what we all, people generally spoke in kind of pre-plain terms when I was growing up. If we talked about pedophiles and somebody said, I want to string them up, somebody did that to my kids, I want to string them up, do you know what? That'd be fine. Nobody would even hesitate. It'd be okay. But no. Now what we've got is you have to talk about sexuality at school with kids. They still call each other gay in the playground, FYI, to be insulting. They still call each other gay and lesbian to be insulting. LGBT was never about gays and lesbians, ever. It was always about T. Once that letter got stuck on the end, it was always about T. Anyway, so my anger today is about women. It's a female police officer that's contacting me about my public order. I said, is it voluntary? Is it voluntary? I said. Is it voluntary? Is it my arse? I wanted to blah, blah, blah. So I've put, is this voluntary? What happens if I do not come? Is this voluntary? Yes, this is an offer of a voluntary interview at a police station. Before you are interviewed, you and your solicitor should you choose to be represented, must be given sufficient information to enable you to understand the nature of any such offence and why you are suspected of committing it. Because lesbians don't have penises. This is your opportunity to tell your side of the story. Yeah, that won't be happening. It will be a shiny rat's arse eclipsing the moon before I speak and tell my side of the story in an interview, just for your information. The aim of the investigative interviewing is to obtain accurate and reliable accounts about matters under investigation and to be able to withstand further scrutiny, for example, in court. Investigators have a responsibility under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act to put questions to an individual even when they exercise their right to silence. If you choose not to attend a voluntary interview, we will make a decision in relation to proportionate next steps. PC Gannon, her name is. PC Gannon, EA 942, Brighton Police Station, Sussex Police. So she who knows about male violence, she who is fully aware about male violence, about men in the police force and the violence that they meter out to women, about the sexual violence and sexualized kind of banter in the police force, about the sex discrimination in the police force. She knows all about that. Oh, but it's really important for her to investigate this. And I don't care if it's her superiors telling her she's got to do it. I don't care. I'm sick and tired of women going along with this. Where's your bloody backbone? Like, I'm a woman. I grew up in the same society as you all. I've got a backbone. I'm not sitting there meek following orders in order to be killed last. Like, what the hell is going on? Even feminists in this debate, my good friends, the feminists, even them, right? There's plenty of them who've only just stopped using the word male people. who definitely at times have stopped using the word woman and man in order to not appear abrasive. Who went to Philia when Philia paraded, put on the panel, an autogynephilic man who called himself a lesbian and a woman. Philia put him on and chastised a lesbian feminist in the audience for protesting about it. These women's groups. I happen to know that a women's organization just recently published a book about why women's spaces are important. We're absolutely categorically going to include women who are actually men in their counting dead women. I know this to be true. I won't elaborate on who they are because I think it would be unfair. But I know it to be true that even women's organizations who call themselves All for Women, who've come out late to the party defending women's rights, even they were too scared to keep men out. Even they had to be convinced. I'm so sick of it. When teachers are in front of those classrooms and they are obliterating the safeguarding of girls, I personally think that they are a safeguarding risk. I think they should be held to account. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been teaching. I don't care if it's the only way you keep a roof over your head. It is only by your cowardice that this continues. It is only by the cowardice of women in the police force who damn well know that their superiors are autogynephiles. It's only by their cowardice that this continues. If we all stood up and we pointed at the emperor's penis, it would stop. So many women are just too afraid. Like, come on. What's it going to take? How many buckets of breast tissue do you need to see? How many girls do you need to know? How many girls do you need to know that they can no longer talk about what is unsafe and what makes them feel unsafe because they're too frightened that they're going to be called unkind? How many girls? A whole generation? Is that enough for you? Entire groups of children at university? Is that enough for you? Does it have to be your own daughter before you'll stand up and defend somebody? And even then, do you? Men, pretty bad, right? Men, pretty bad. Unless a steaming pile of excrement is under their nose, they don't smell it. But we women, we don't smell it. We don't taste it. We feel it. With every fiber of our bodies, we feel it. We know it. We remember it. We remember a creepy man and how he made us feel. And now we're telling our daughters Don't worry, love. He calls himself a woman. We knew when we were younger that those are the creepiest of men. We knew it. We could say it. Nobody bloody rang the police about it because the police knew it. We knew way back. A guy wrote a book about serial killing, and often serial killers, because serial killing is often a sexual kind of motivation, starts with flashing, exposing oneself, then it's minor sexual assault, then it's rape, then it's murder. That's how serial killing works. It's sexual fetish. We know how strong they are. Often those men were autogynephiles. We knew this. We knew it. The police knew it. And now suddenly they're rebranded as stunning and brave and vulnerable. Like, sod off. I'm so sick and tired of the police now trying to persecute me, trying to catch me out, trying to charge me with a crime. Offer me a caution for speaking about this stuff. And look, I'm a pretty strong woman. Takes up far too much of my goddamn time. I'm so annoyed. It's a woman doing it. Men don't have to march upon our necks. They don't have to put their hands around our throats. They get women to do it. And if women aren't doing it directly, if they're not doing it directly, they're strangling us in other ways. They're trying to silence us for not quite the right message, not working with the right people, not talking to the right people. Each and every one of you women who stand in my way, each and every one of you, let me just tell you, you will be annihilated. Because I genuinely don't lose. So if you want to stand in my way, you better be ready for watching the back of my arse as I walk away from you, as I walk ahead of you, as you are eclipsed. Every single last one of you. It's so absolutely ridiculous. It's no coincidence that today is Groundhog Day. Because that's my life. Report to the police, interviewed. Report to the police, interviewed. Some person who's either abusing her kids or is gaslighting their partners or dressing like a woman and invading women's spaces. They report us to the police and the police listen. Like, Jesus. I take victory in my stride. It is something I come to expect. And so everybody standing in my way, you women, you autogynephiles, you police forces, whoever you are, you want to stand in my way, just be prepared. You may not like losing. Maybe it'll be a first taste of it, but my God, you will lose. Anyway, if you'd like to help me fight the police force, you can go to standingforwomen.com. Let women speak. It's just so extraordinarily nuts that in this country, we spend money on trying to persecute women, and I am going to use the word persecute, trying to persecute women for trying to stand up for women and girls. Like, what in holy shit is that? Absolutely remarkable. None of you would have ever heard anything of me. You never would have heard anything about me if men hadn't started invading women's spaces. If it stopped becoming okay to say a woman is an adult human female. Mary Dyer, thank you for your $4.99 US. Everybody look up Russell Williams on YouTube, AGP and murderer. Oh, good gracious. Leslie Farrington with your £5. Thank you so much. Complain to the Home Secretary. Thank you, Leslie. Anyway, right. You know what to do. If you want to help, be the billboard. If you want to help, like, share, and subscribe. If you want to make this little episode in human history, this nonsensical bull, a complete history, so that we're not gaslighting children. We are not forcing a whole generation of children not to know what their boundaries are. If we're not manipulating women and children in this weird, bizarre kindness. I watched you, Jess Phillips. Let me just say, I watched your face when Rosie Duffield was speaking and other people were shouting. I watched your face. Don't come out when this war is won and we're all rubbing our hands together and shaking the dust of victory off our lapel. Don't you dare say that you were part of this victory. We know, Jess Phillips. I watched you. Go back and watch Rosie Duffield when she's being shouted at in the House of Commons. Jess Phillips' face. Just go and watch it. And then Thangam Debonair. Oh, she works for Violence Against Women. Then she's trying to pretend that, oh, I don't know about Rosie Duffield. We're all so supportive. Keir's so great. The school that your niece and nephew went to, Cottam School in Bristol, had gender neutral toilets so that girls could not wash their hands in private. So don't tell me that these Labour women are actually out for you. Those of you still on the left, I think you're ridiculous. I really do. Form our own party. Why would we stick with Labour? Gaslighting, manipulating women like some sort of domestic abuser. Absolutely disgusting. Jess Phillips can't be a disgrace to the working class because she grew up middle class. And she still is middle class. She just got a Brummie accent that makes her seem a little bit poorer and something else. Anyway, right. If you can keep your righteous anger and push it in the right direction, I promise we will win. Rage Biss. Rage is long overdue. Thank you, Tessa the Deverfields, for your super chat, £20. Putting up my own calendar here. Deb Jane. I'm gonna have to go in a minute. I've got to take my son to a speaking competition. Super chat, $19.99 in memory of a dear friend who didn't take crap from anyone. Oh, thank you, S. That's very lovely. Thank you so much. Super chat, 80% Scottish, 50 Great British pounds. I take some comfort that Sturgeon is starting to crumble over this issue. It's been a good snapshot into public opinion once I hear of it. That's right. That's why Glasgow is going to be so amazing. Okay. If you can hold your righteous anger and you can point it in the right direction, I promise we will win. If you can be courageous when others are not, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Because I never, literally never lose.